Previously on Adequately Advanced Magic.
Niclaus, the voices in your head have grown louder and more distinct. And as ghostly Hyrkir, Seirys, and you, Niclaus, look on, you can start to make out some of their conversations. One of them is like, oh, he's totally losing it now. It's not gonna be long. Another voice goes, oh yeah, he's totally gonna bite it.
Wow, Niclaus, the voices in your head are kind of mean.
Another voice suddenly appears in your head, and it goes, hey Niclaus, wake up. Niclaus, you feel like you're falling, and as you open your eyes in real life, you realize you are.
Uh-oh.
You take a look around as you fall in slow motion, and you realize that you're on the edge of a subway platform, falling towards the tracks. A short distance away, a levitating subway train is headed your way.
Welcome to Falcon's Reach, a city in which magic is technology. You're listening to Adequately Advanced Magic.
We see a shot of Hyrkir, Niclaus, and Seirys. The three of you are just casually standing next to the metro platform. Niclaus has tipped over the edge. He's falling towards where, in our world, the tracks would be, having essentially just stepped off the platform and is falling in slow motion. A short distance away, we see an incoming metro car.
Alright, can we make attempts to grab Niclaus? Or are we so stunned it's too late by the time he's fallen away?
So I fall at normal speed, but as I'm just out of reach, it switches to slow-mo.
Something like that.
And why did I fall in again?
You are having one of those dream sequences and you really just disassociated from reality.
Okay.
That was what the entire recap was.
Oh, this is actually happening in real life?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Niclaus, what are you thinking about?
Niclaus sees the light of the oncoming metro train, and for a moment he's still disoriented. He's like, am I still dreaming? Is this... No, this feels different. His eyes slowly turn. You see his friends, slowly reaching out to him with, horror on their faces, and he's like, oh shit. Oh shit.
Hyrkir and Seirys, here's a moment for the two of you guys to react.
I assume it sounds like we're all next to each other type thing. So he's gonna try and grab Niclaus.
And I'm going to try to help by also trying to grab Niclaus.
I think I should be the help and not the main role here.
Yep. If it's a split second, oh shit, my friend's falling into the metro and he's about to die, then yeah, Seirys wouldn't be strategic about that. It'd be oh god, Tamara. And yeah, she would try to reach out and grab and touch Faith and grab Niclaus by the arm or whatever she can grab.
Consensually.
How exactly would you help Seirys, Hyrkir?
Well, we'd both be grabbing different arms or something like that.
Okay.
Or she grabs him by the scruff of the neck and I've got his ankle, something like that.
How about both of you guys roll a athletics check?
All right.
11.
This is a 13. Sorry, Roy.
Ruh-roh.
Are we going to open the season with Niclaus just dying horrifically?
Bye, Niclaus.
Yep. Listen, it's been a good run, but turns out your friends are incompetent, and you just got hit by a train.
Alright, both Hyrkir and Seirys, the two of you reach out towards Niclaus to try and keep him from falling, and Seirys, you just the tips of your fingers touch Niclaus's collar. Hyrkir, you try to grab his his ankle, and his pants just slip out of your hands.
Curses.
And now it's Niclaus's turn to react.
Niclaus's arms are flailing. He does see his friends try to reach out for him, but he can't manage to grab them quick enough. Does he land, or is he still midair?
You're still midair.
How far away is the train?
Say like 30 feet.
Oof. And how fast is it moving? And where is it coming from? And where is its destination?
All right, stop the podcast.
It's coming at you at 60 miles per hour.
All right, so let's see. 30 feet divided by 60 miles an hour.
What are you about to do what are you going to do to this train, Roy?
0.34 seconds before it hits me. So a third of a second. I don't have time to hit the ground and get underneath it. That's unfortunate. I mean, at this point, I think the only thing that Niclaus could do to save himself is try to use Misty Step. Now, normally in action, it says duration instantaneous, so that should be okay. So Niclaus will attempt to Misty Step back onto the ledge next to his friends. He attempts to cast Misty Step.
The metro train rushes on towards you. And at the very last second, as you basically almost feel cold metal contacting your body, you ungracefully Misty Step back onto the platform.
I think for flavor, we could say that I teleport into like a heap instead of onto my feet.
You actually slide across the floor a little bit.
Like I did the velocity vector.
Yeah. And then your face just squeaks against the dirty floors.
Ow.
Whoa, you alright?
This floor has not been cleaned in a long time. Other than that, I'm fine.
And yet you split across it like it were freshly...
It's greased up.
Oh, we lost Niclaus. No. Oh.
Seirys, I'm over here.
What? How? What? How did you not get like exploded into a bloody mess?
Niclaus like rolls over on his back. It's kind of like just laying for a second. I did the thing where I stepped, through the mist.
That's some quick thinking. How did this happen at all?
That's a great question. He kind of like gets up on his elbows and like sits up, stands up. Just like, I don't really remember us coming here. I just remember starting to fall.
I go over to Niclaus and I'm gonna do... Well, so mechanically I want to do a medicine check on Niclaus. And by that, like in character, Seirys is trying to like kind of like identify and see if there's any signs of like, not a concussion, but just see if he's like okay. Like what he said sounded very concerning. They didn't remember what happened and all of a sudden he was just falling.
Yeah, go ahead and do a medicine check.
She's like, are you okay? Oh, I have -1 to medicine checks actually, so this is not going to go well.
Uh-oh. Should have been me.
It's a 10.
You see no outward signs of physical trauma except for maybe like some rug burn.
Ooh.
Like floor burn.
Street rash, I think they call that.
Ah, yes. Okay, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's about it, though. Meanwhile, Constance, Alistair, and Tiger run up to you.
Oh, they're all there too?
Yep.
Oh no.
Everybody
It's-
saw it.
It's really the psychic damage that is the most harmful.
The humiliation.
Yeah.
Emotional damage.
Season 3, Niclaus
is,
goes to therapy.
Tiger's like, "Hey, are you okay?"
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
How many fingers am I holding up? I hold up 3 fingers.
You're holding up 4 fingers.
Oh no. Maybe he's not strong enough to make the journey with us.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I look at him very concerned.
I think at this point Niclaus probably catches like a glimpse of himself in like a mirror or like piece of glass and is like realizes he's disheveled, will prestidigitate himself.
Hot.
He's a bit vain.
Yeah. As you look at your reflection, you also realize that this is not a dream. The 3 of you see a police officer come over to the group. With one hand sort of resting on his holster, he says, "Everything all right here?"
Yeah, I think so.
Niclaus pulls out his Metro Pass Flashes it.
Okay, just a warning. If you kill yourself here, you owe the company 40,000 gold.
Thank you, sir. That we're fine. But Seirys kind of like looks away from the police officer.
He heads off.
Is Niclaus up? Or can I help him? Okay.
So what is Seirys is no longer wearing her uniform, right? So
Seirys is wearing a uniform that she's modified herself slightly.
like taking the patches off.
It kind of looks like a police uniform, but instead of Falcon's Reach Police Department, she's sort of like taken off the part that says Police Department, and it just says like Falcon's Reach on it. 'Cause she's here to protect the people, whether or not she's part of a police department or not.
Nice.
Yeah, but she still has like the armored vest and the police officer looking clothes. It's just not an official and probably not sanctioned outfit.
I was about to say, are there laws against impersonating a police officer?
Yeah.
Probably pretty strict ones too.
She's technically a police officer, just a suspended one.
Let's run down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
See how that goes for us.
She was suspended with or without pay? I can't remember.
Without pay.
Without pay.
Oh, so you really fucked up.
Sorry. Seirys hasn't shared this with Niclaus or Hyrkir yet because it's very like upset. She feels very like weird about it.
In the distance, another train pulls up, and Tiger says, "Oh, hey, that's our train to Elyon."
Hold on, let me do you a favor here, Joey, real quick. All right, hold on. I'm going to pull up the map of the Falcon's Reach that you can find on Adequately Advanced Magic to see where Elyon is.
It's south of Cannaloon.
Sorry, the Adequately Advanced Magic website at www.adequatelyadvancedmagic.com.
And we're coming from Cannaloon, right?
Yep.
So it's slightly southeast.
So if you're on a train going from Cannaloon to Elyon, traveling 60 miles an hour,
and another train going from Elyon to Cannaloon passes you, what happens?
Has to stop because someone spent $40,000 to sue outside themselves. Which train will arrive first?
It depends on if goblins show up with their catapults and giant semi-truck.
Math.
All right, to the train.
Yeah, Tiger, Constance, and Alistair, they do a quick jog, fast walk, rabbit sprint.
Does the train like show up for like a 0.5 seconds, open and close and go?
It's very fast.
Yeah. All right.
It doesn't even stop. It just slows down to like walking speed.
And the next one doesn't come for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's canon now. They jump into the train. The metric car.
They can make it even more efficient. You know how like airports have those treadmill walkways? So you could have one that goes parallel with the train that you like
oh my gosh,
progressively get on so that the train doesn't have to slow down as much.
Every train trip an adventure.
we can go with that. That's canon now too.
Oh jeez.
Nice.
Anyway, now I'm getting stressed out, so I get on the train.
Before it gets worse.
Before we get left behind.
And you're chased by tigers because that will speed you up too.
And there's a moat filled with alligators around the train.
But no doors, see?
No doors.
It's just
everybody
open.
Carry a special pike that you stab into the side of the train.
Dexterity saving throw to get on a train.
Yeah, everybody do a dexterity, constitution, strength saving throw.
All right.
Oh boy.
That's a joke.
Oh, I got a nat
Okay,
20,
getting
so
onto the train.
I acrobat myself onto the train.
You are now the train.
Yeah. Get on, everybody. Choo-choo.
The three of you get onto the levitating walkway that matches the speed of the train, but just slows down.
It's just really fast.
It's still pretty fast.
This is brand new for Hyrkir, so he's not.
You guys find one of like the doors to enter, and you follow Constance, Tiger, and Alistair inside.
It's just like, the trip to Cannaloon will take 3 hours. There are no restrooms on the train.
Restrooms cost 50 gold.
Still cheaper than the elevator.
Yeah.
The train you get in is relatively sparse. There's not a whole lot of people here, and the train heads off. The little handholds hanging from the bars swing. Constance and Alistair take a seat. Tiger technically he's sitting everywhere.
Everywhere and nowhere.
Sure, I sit down too.
Hyrkir and Niclaus, what do you guys do?
Is it the type of train where the seats face forward, or the type of metro where like the seats face inner in?
They face towards the inside.
Okay. Niclaus just finds a seat, gets comfortable.
Hyrkir finds a seat as fast as he can, uncertain about walking on this moving vehicle.
Is there a food and drink service?
There is, but it's exorbitantly expensive.
Good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
Tiger jumps into Constance's lap and they're just sort of like chatting.
That's very adorable.
Constance scritches behind his beanie/ears.
Oh,
Oh.
my hort.
Eventually he heads over to the three of you, and he says to Niclaus, "Hey, are you doing okay? Sort of a weird place to take a fall."
Yeah, I'm fine. I just kind of lost sense of where I was for a moment.
Like, are all the NPCs just like occasionally glancing at Niclaus
Yeah.
warily?
As Tiger asks you how you are, you sort of think to yourself,
What a wonderful world.
what a wonderful world that I may no longer be part of. No. The voices in your head have gotten considerably worse since the fight at the plaza. But even before then, you were already seeing things.
Niclaus kind of like crosses his arms and leans back and closes his eyes. He tries to rein in the voices, because he always hears them. They're just usually in the background. But he's noticed that they've been more insistent, more violent, more difficult to ignore, and more painful. So it just takes a few minutes to try to find calm again.
Tiger's like, alright, good talk. Have you guys ever been to Elion before?
I haven't.
Not really. We did like a training drill with a squad from Elion, and they said it was a nice place, but no, I've never really been outside of Canaloon. What about you, Tiger?
Yeah, we've been there before. We're actually we have a contact there, and we're gonna set up at their place.
Oh, what's it like over there?
It's a sight, I guess.
What do you mean by that?
Well, take a look. He hops up onto your shoulder and looks out the window.
I take a look, as he suggests.
As the train heads south, you take a look outside, and you see the shops and stores of the commercial Canaloon district slowly transform into a complex network of pipes and Magitech lines, which snake among numerous low-lying factories and steam stacks, which themselves billow a dark purple smoke into the air.
Is it magic smoke?
Yes. In the distance, you see a trifecta of some 80-floor tall arcologies,
Oh boy. I have a bad feeling about this.
each of which have this sort of weird twisty shape capped by what appears to be a fancy penthouse section on top.
It's 4 layers of security between you and that penthouse.
Each of the arcologies are named. You see a dim, flickering Magitech sign for each. One says rejuvenation, another says revival, and the third says renewal. Each one flickers dimly and erratically. You also see Falcoco Tower.
Is it bigger or smaller than the arcologies?
It is bigger.
Oh boy.
It's a round skyscraper built around a singular gigantic smokestack, which itself is also emitting the same dark purple smoke.
Right. This is the Magitite place, right?
Yeah.
This is the Magitite
Energy.
district.
Falcoco focuses
Falco.
on energy and magitite.
Cocoa Puffs.
So that's they creating or mining the energy that powers Magitech and spew purple smoke into the sky, which is probably not harmful to anyone.
Those are the Falcoco Puffs.
It's the magic smoke. This is where they make it.
This is where the magic smoke comes from.
The three of you turn back inside, or I guess you can keep looking if you want.
Hyrkir's going to continue looking. This is brand new to him.
What do we know about Magitite extraction or how like I guess what relevant information about this area do we know about in relation to like how magitite is produced, if that makes sense?
Go ahead and do a history check.
Am I good at history? Probably not. History is plus 0. It's not bad, but not good. 5. Seirys does not pay attention to the geographic background section in police training.
Did Niclaus ever do any work in Elion while he was tenured at Valdivian? Any conferences?
You probably worked on some collab projects, cross corporation projects at some point, but your knowledge of the magitech and magitite process is not particularly strong.
It's that one commercial they showed or not commercial, like animated video they showed in school.
Oh.
Yeah, like with the shitty like 1970s animation.
It's like,
Yes.
What is it? The, what was it called? The Bill?
Oh, the
Oh,
Schoolhouse
Capitol
Rock.
Hill.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah. The Bill on Capitol Hill.
Yeah. You think back to the song of the
Magitite
illusion
song.
magitech, yeah. Teaching kids about how magitite and magitech is processed, and you realize that the song doesn't really. I guess both you and Seirys think back on this, and you realize that the entire process is a very closely guarded corporate secret. You don't know anything about it.
The song's just like, we won't tell you, we won't tell you.
Just don't worry about it.
Everything's
secret.
fine.
If you try and find out, we'll kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Niclaus will kind of like open his eyes again, take in the view that he's seen before, so it's not completely unknown to him. He'll turn to Tiger and he'll ask him, so where's our destination here?
Our contact is in that arcology over there. Rejuvenation. Yeah, the RE flickers off for a hot second. It just says Juvenation. We'll set up a base there and then figure out where to go from there.
Sounds good.
We'll have a group briefing.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Sounds good. And you said we have a place to stay there?
Yeah, we're staying with someone who we've helped out before.
Oh.
He's a character.
What do you mean by that?
It's probably better that I let you find out yourselves.
But I want to know now.
He leaves.
Okay.
Say,
Okay.
This is very aggressive, and I don't feel comfortable here anymore.
I'm sorry.
this is no longer a safe space.
You've lost one heart with Tiger.
No. You were too impatient. Seirys is sad now.
This whole podcast becomes like a dating sim now.
Well, you know, Tiger's a bust, but there's always... Oh, what's the guy's name?
That's not gonna help.
The elf guy.
Hortense?
No, the guy with us now.
Oh, I don't remember his name.
You don't remember his name either.
Alistair.
Alistair.
Alistair. That's
I
right.
literally said it 3 times.
I know.
Yep. Didn't stick.
I can remember for some reason when you name characters like Sarah and Jake, but I can't remember names like Alistair. What does it say about me? All right. Anywho, Seirys doesn't really have anything to say, but she does like continue to look at Niclaus with some concern.
Hyrkir's mesmerized by the scenery going by.
What does Niclaus do?
Listen to the voices, Niclaus.
They're like, you probably left the oven on, Niclaus.
I don't have a house. What the
all the
hell?
stuff, all your stuff is gonna burn. Did you forget to take the trash out? You probably did.
That's not voices, it's just anxiety.
Wait a second.
Does Niclaus feel unnerved from his brush with death?
Yeah, you do.
Niclaus, when no one's really paying attention, will take a moment and will cast mage armor on himself because it makes him feel better. And it lasts for 8 hours.
Yeah, you shimmer. About an hour later, the metro train arrives at the station for rejuvenation.
Rejuvenation.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Mitchell, and I play Seirys on the main campaign in the podcast. I want to give a special shout out to our patrons. If you want to join our Patreon and earn special membership benefits, you can find it at patreon.com/adequatelyadvancedmagic. Also, check out our social media at AA Magic Pod. You can find us on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Please feel free to share the podcast with your friends or family if you think they'd be interested in listening. It really helps us out. Now join us as Hyrkir, Niclaus, and Seirys continue their adventures in Elion.
The group arrives at Rejuvenation, and after a short walk from the metro, you arrive in the lobby. As the three of you look up, you see all 80 floors. There's like an empty space in the center that leads up all the way to the top.
How big around is it? Like circumference or the inner space? Like we go into the lobby, we're looking up. Like how big is this tower? Wide, I guess.
It's about 500 meters wide.
Oof. Okay.
Sounds big.
It's tiny.
It is quite large. Only Roy is unimpressed.
How big would it have to be for you to be impressed, Roy?
It's pretty bustling inside. As the three of you take a look around, you see that the denizens of this particular arcology are mostly dwarves, though other races and species are present. Despite its name, the inside appears to be dilapidated and aging. Every now and then you can see some disconnected magitite wires shooting sparks out. Trash lines the walls, some of it having been there for an extremely long amount of time. In the center there is a illusion magitech directory that occasionally flickers on and off.
Tiger, what are we looking for here?
Well, our contact should be on the residential floors.
Seirys goes to the directory to find the residential floors.
You take a look at the directory. You see that there's multiple layers to the arcology. On the top are the penthouse floors, underneath that are the management floors, and then the entertainment floors, the market floors, the residential floors, and then the maintenance floors.
Oh my.
That's a lot of floors.
Seems like maybe the people in the maintenance floors are on vacation.
Probably understaffed for a facility of this size. Who owns the arcology? Who owns this sort of thing?
Hyrkir, you take a look and you see that behind any time that rejuvenation is mentioned, it says, homes provided by Valcoco.
Huh.
And go ahead and roll a history check.
That's a big old 11.
Yeah, you figure that these arcologies are probably mostly used to house Valcoco workers who work in the various factories and other subsidiaries located throughout Elion. Tiger says, I think there's an elevator over there.
All right, how much is it gonna cost?
Alistair graciously pays for everybody.
Can he afford it?
Somehow, yes.
Wow, such a generous man.
I suspect you don't get into philanthropic law in this world without having some bank.
You'd be surprised. Okay.
All right.
And the group heads up towards the residential floors. The elevator stops on floor 21. Alistair and Tiger lead the group towards one of the apartments, and Alistair knocks on the door. The three of you hear music coming from inside that promptly stops after the knock, and you hear tiny footsteps head towards the door. As the door opens, you see a small tabaxi. He's carrying a guitar and is wearing a cape and MC Hammer pants.
They're called parachute pants?
Also known as parachute pants. The tabaxi opens the door and does a dramatic bow as he welcomes everybody in. He says, "Hello, my name's Paw Paw.
Oh no.
Paw Paw.
Paw Paw.
Can you spell that?
It's P-A-W. P-A-W.
Hi, Pop. My name is Seirys Alanis, and I extend a hand to shake his hand.
Pleasure meeting you, pretty lady."
Seirys blushes a little bit.
Paw Paw kisses your hand, and he says, "Allow me to play the song of my people."
I'm apple bottom G.
And he plays a song. Like, he just goes into it and ignores everybody for the entire 5-minute duration.
Everybody's standing there.
Yeah, everybody's just like,
Is it at least a good song?
it's a pretty good song.
All right.
It's catchy.
We stand there sort of smiling like a little awkwardly and
Yeah.
kind of glancing at each other every so often.
Hyrkir's checking out the room. What's he see? What's it look like?
You see that the apartment is relatively small. It's going to be pretty cramped with all these people here. On one of the walls, it's basically just an entire wall of liquor on shelves. On another wall, you see old photos with presumably famous people. And go ahead and do a quick investigate check.
11.
You notice that in one or two of the photos that there's people, like, pasted in.
Interesting.
Nice.
Paw finally finishes his song, and he says, "My name's Paw Paw. Nice to meet you. Let me show you where y'all will be staying."
That was something.
Okay. Hyrkir follows Lay Tabaxi.
Yeah. Paw shows Alistair and Tiger into what appears to be a very cluttered office, filled with sheet music and a cat-sized Cocobolo desk.
I thought you were going to say litter box there for a minute.
This is where Papa goes to the bathroom.
This here's my restroom.
You can use it if you want.
You can use it if you want. Paw meanwhile shows you guys plus Constance into another room, a spare room, that is really just filled with pictures of him. Along with a couple of musical instruments that are mounted on the wall. This here's where y'all will be staying.
Looks good. Thanks, Papa.
No problem.
Thank you so much for your kind hospitality, sir.
Can I play you a song?
Maybe later. You already played one.
He starts playing a song.
5 minutes pass.
He's actually playing, like, flamenco, and then just following you guys around.
It's like, is this weird to anybody else, or...
Oh, a little bit.
He's pretty good though.
Yeah, he is pretty good. Like, I'm not angry about it, but it's a little bit weird.
It is a little bit weird.
Tiger pops in and he says, "All right, whenever you guys are settled in, how about we have our meeting?"
All right.
Sounds good to me.
He heads back into the office.
All right, I drop my stuff off in the room.
Yes.
Yeah, meanwhile, Paw is just playing flamenco behind you.
Now I'm looking up Flamenco.
You're in for a treat. Is it all 6 of us in that room?
Paw has his own room.
No, I mean like everyone except Papa.
It seems like Alistair and Tiger are going to set up in the office.
Ah, okay. And Constance?
Constance is joining you guys.
Okay.
So the current situation is Alistair and Tiger are going to stay in the office. Paw has his own master bedroom somewhere. Take a look around. It's actually just like a cat bed.
Nice.
And the 3 of you guys plus Constance are going to stay in the spare room.
Is there enough room for all of us in the spare room?
It's pretty crowded, but
We'll
it'll
be
work.
warm at least.
Okay. That's true, for those cold Elion nights. Yep, Seirys is as settled in as she is going to get.
How about you, Niclaus and Hyrkir?
Yeah, he'll just, drop his stuff down and head off to the meeting.
Yeah, he just Niclaus just picks out a spot, kind of stores his stuff, gets ready for the meeting.
Yep. The group gathers in Papa's office. Alistair stands up and he says, "All right, let's get down to business."
To defeat.
Someone always
Huns.
has to say.
As you all know, we're here to try to find this secret office of Arcane,
Right.
which performed these experiments on you that enabled you to be able to use magic. While you guys were dealing with the plaza situation, Tiger and I have been conducting our own investigation. He pulls out a file folder. As you may remember, Tiger found Hyrkir and Niclaus and Jack in a floating research station.
Oh, you mean that guy who died?
Yes, our friend who died.
The way we found out about this station is that we received a tip, an anonymous tip, that we've now been able to trace back to a certain Rudiger Nigrim. That's Rudiger Niigrim. He flips open the file folder, revealing a picture of a very nerdy-looking gnome wearing a doctor's coat.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Is he related to the Arcane project then?
I believe so. Since then, we've attempted to establish contact with Mr. Nigrim here, but he appears to be missing. I believe Mr. Nigrim is our best bet in finding Arcane's secret office. His last known residence is here, in Rejuvenation.
Do we know where in the arcology it is?
Yeah. Inside the file is an address. It lists Rudiger's apartment as being on the 25th floor. If you would be so kind as to investigate the whereabouts of Rudiger, Tiger and I will gather information on Renia. Does that work for everybody?
I think so. Hyrkir looks at his companions.
Yes, we believe Renia at some point resided in Elyon.
Aha.
Interesting. So this was the person that you two encountered on the train, right?
Yeah, and you saw the aftermath of what she did to Arcane's offices.
Yes, this individual sounds highly dangerous.
She summoned a demon.
Yes, and people shouldn't be able to do that.
I mean, you have to use demon summoning responsibly, but
It's like the Second Amendment here, the right to summon demons.
yeah. But her actions directly led to the death of Jack. So
Okay. Sounds like we have some leads we can follow up on.
should we just head on up then? I mean,
Do we have anything else to follow on Rudiger?
just his
I mean,
apartment, right?
just his apartment is all we've got to go on right now.
Well, it's just four floors up. We can walk that.
Alistair says, "Yes, I do believe he may have some family in this arcology.
You already checked his apartment. He wasn't there.
We've attempted to establish contact, but there's been no response.
Have you gone into the apartment?
No.
Okay, we'll start with there.
That would be against the law."
Right, that's what you need us for. I understand.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I mean, our job's pretty
Straightforward.
straightforward.
Cut and dry.
Straight cut.
Oh.
Straight
cut
cut
and dry.
and forward.
Straight cut and forward. But we'll probably be done in the next hour. So, I mean, I don't see how it could possibly be more difficult than just going to the room, right?
We'll be back in Canaloon by dinner time.
Then we can help you with Renia.
Sounds good.
Alistair, Tiger, if you don't mind my asking, you're doing an awful lot to help us out with this. What is your interest in all of this exactly?
Alistair responds, "I believe Arcane and Renia could pose an existential threat to this city and its citizens."
Wow. Hyrkir's eyes go wide.
You really think so?
Yes.
People summoning demons everywhere does sound bad.
Well, then you can count on my support.
Is this the part we all pull our musketeer swords and say one for all for one?
You have my sword!
Curiously, Pawpaw does have a couple mounted on the wall. Meanwhile, he's still like jamming his flamenco music.
Yeah, so like, what's the deal with this guy?
My name's Paw, as he continues to strum on his guitar.
Okay, and how do you know Alistair and Tiger?
We helped each other out back in the day.
I see. And you're so grateful that you're letting us stay with you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I need no further details or clarifications.
Great.
Cool.
Let me play you a song
Of your people?
of my people.
So you're like a musician or something?
He plays a song of his people.
Okay.
I guess we should check out the apartment.
All right.
Yeah, let's head upstairs.
All right. Now, you guys, we don't technically have a warrant to do this. Should we maybe go get one?
But we're just gonna knock. You know, warrant to knock.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Also, we're not cops.
Oh, so we're just breaking and entering.
But we're knocking.
Oh, right, yes. Is this a capital knock? Capital K knock or a lowercase
No,
k
It's a
knock?
very normal kind of knock.
Okay.
Well,
Not magical at all.
Niclaus.
All right.
Niclaus's plan is if no one answers, is like, well, he might be in danger. In the cases of someone in danger, the exigent emergency. You know, you have to
Right.
see if there's something we need to do to rescue them.
It all checks out to me. All right, cool. We make our way to the 25th floor for this nerdy ass gnome.
Constance stays behind to help out Alistair and Tiger, and the three of you guys head out. After a short climb of stairs, the three of you arrive on the 25th floor, and you head to the apartment of Rudiger Negro.
Hi everyone, it's Jeremiah. I play Hyrkir on Adequately Advanced Magic. Thanks for listening to another episode. For more information on the campaign, please check out our website at www.adequatelyadvancedmagic.com. You can also follow along on Twitter at twitter.com/AAMagicPod. We'll see you next time when our heroes delve into the unknown of Rudiger Negram's apartment.